I know many people who hate paperwork, but if it saves us from getting into a lot of trouble, why not? The famous Greek philosopher Socrates quoted this: "Without rules, we are nothing but animals." And Singapore has so many rules that people often joke that we are a fine city. And I'm sure you couldn't agree more. Jokes aside, let me ask you this. Will you remember all the rules that were set by the government if they did not list it down or make them enforceable? I'm sure you know the answer, don't you? In today's video, we'll be sharing with you the 9th biggest mistakes home sellers make, which is failure to keep proper documentation. By the way, if you are watching this for the very first time, this is a 10-part video series on the 10 biggest mistakes home sellers make. I'm not just sharing the mistakes, I will also share how you can avoid them. After all, prevention is always better than cure. If you want to check out our earlier videos, you can find them on our Facebook page or YouTube channel. Or if you prefer to make your life easier, just click the follow us button on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notification, and you'll never ever miss any of our videos again. So if you are ready, let's get started with mistake number 9, failure to keep proper documentation. I know many people who hate paperwork, but if it saves us from getting into a lot of trouble, why not? Do you know what the real estate industry was like when it was not regulated by the government before 2010? Some of you may remember that the real estate industry was also called a cowboy industry for many reasons, which I shall not elaborate. Those days, the consumers were always at the losing end until the Ministry of National Development stepped in to establish the Council for Estate Agents, or CEA, on 22nd October 2010 with the goal to regulate and develop the real estate industry in Singapore. When I sat on CEA's committee for the formation of the Professional Service Manual, or PSM, in 2011, many issues and bad practices were brought up. Some of this includes misrepresentation, unethical advertising, under-table money or kickback, fraudulent transactions, or even failure to exercise fiduciary duties to their client. In their relentless effort to clean up the real estate industry, CEA implemented new rules and practice guidelines to ensure that real estate salespeople, or RES in short, will carry out their business in a proper manner. Not only that, but they also make it mandatory for RES to attend Continuing Professional Development, or CPD, every year. The CPD scheme requires RES to upgrade themselves and keep abreast of the latest changes in policies and procedures relating to real estate transactions. In recent years, more policies were implemented, including the reporting of suspicious transactions and conducting checks for parties involved in a transaction. CEA also introduced 8 prescribed forms to be used when engaging the services of RES, regardless they are looking to buy, sell, or lease residential properties in Singapore. But here's the challenge. Many members of the public were not aware of this. Many a time I hear from my colleagues that home sellers refuse to acknowledge the CEA's prescribed form. Their customers shared that they have dealt with other RES and none of them mentioned anything about paperwork. They become confused about the need for proper documentation because they were uninformed and misinformed. When it comes to real estate related matters, many friends and relatives who are not in this practice will try to give you all sorts of advice. I do not want to question their intention, but please be careful because they may not be an expert in this area. But I'm sure they meant well. Just as the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Thus, using your judgment could be a better option. I have also come across home sellers who were ignorant and simply refused to acknowledge any paperwork. Luckily for me, I'm always prepared and equip myself with copies of CEA's public notice. After I shared and explained to them, they finally understood that this documentation protects them. For home sellers, here are 5 points that must be clearly stated in the CEA Form 1 for non-exclusive agreement or Form 5 for exclusive agreement when engaging a RES for the sale of a property. Point 1. What is the expected sales price? This is quite straightforward, although it is not cast in stone. We know that Singapore's property market is either on an upward trend or a downward trend most of the time. It rarely stays stagnant. Point 2. How long is the appointment period? For an exclusive appointment, this can be anything up to 3 calendar months. If the appointed RES is doing a good job, but not getting the right buyer yet, do consider a 3 months renewal. This, by the way, is legit, and the option to renew is stated on page 1 in your CEA Form 5. Point 3. How much is the service fee and whether GST is applicable? Do not make the mistake of engaging the RES with the lowest fee if he or she is not capable of meeting your needs. This was something I shared in my video for mistake number 4. Remember, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Point 4. Does the RES has a conflict of interest? If your RES is going to buy your property or the potential buyer is somehow related, the RES must make a declaration. There have been past cases whereby the sellers found out that the buyer for their property is the spouse or relative of the RES. They were concerned whether the RES put in his or her best effort to negotiate the best price and terms for them. Somehow it does not feel good for home sellers who were caught in this situation. Final point. Is your appointed RES going to co-broke with other RES who may have buyers for your property? This is quite straightforward and I will not elaborate further on this. For other terms and conditions that were discussed and agreed upon by both parties, you can also include them in the prescribed forms. With all this in place, you are good to go ahead. When everything goes smoothly, your next call will probably be to the movers. Agree? Well, we have come to the end of today's video. If you have any questions about buying, selling, or investing in a property, you can always reach out to us at 9780-0000. As promised, we will only share our unbiased opinion. Remember to follow us on our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so. This is Alex Chua from Home of the Elites. I will catch you in our next and final video, the 10th biggest mistakes home sellers make and how you can avoid them. Till then, you stay safe for now.